So we're standing here in what looks like a good old-fashioned everyday common garden library. Rows of books on shelves, but even this can be transformed because these shelves are not necessarily permanent, are they?
No, they're not actually. The shelving, along with a number of other elements in the library, are all flexible. So we can change up the space as needed, depending on what the needs of the community are, our services that we have going on, and the changing role of the library in the community.
So there's nothing really rigid in here.
Well, of course, the exterior walls are. Some of them actually do open up into for example, our reading garden, but for the most part, everything is flexible in the library.
Yeah, exactly. We still got the books. You'll still find them at the library. We think that a lot of the new directions that we're taking, especially with our programs and our events, it's really just a reflection of changing society and new ways of sharing information. So a lot of it follows the same kind of traditional model of what a library stands for. It's just really catching up with the times and reflecting what the community really needs.
But you're still very unique in terms of libraries. There aren't a lot of these around.
Yeah, that's true. So a lot of the libraries are starting to change, but to have an actual space designated, say, for a hack lab or for a media lab is a very new thing. Yeah.
So you've set the bar high for everybody then?
We'd like to hope so. I think we try to push the boundaries as much as possible constantly, and there are a lot of libraries, especially in Ontario, that have been contacting us and asking us about how we're doing what we're doing, and we work and network with them all the time. So we're definitely not working in isolation. I think you're going to start seeing this popping up in other locations as well.
But were you not the first out of the gate on this?
I would say that, as Erin said, there are a number of services or spaces that we have that are very different, very unique, and perhaps the first of their kind in Canada. But there is a trend moving towards makerspaces in libraries, community-led approaches. There's a huge emphasis right now in the province for community hubs, and so we see that the services available within our libraries are changing as we're working more closely with our community partners.
In terms of books on the shelves, are there as many books in a library today as there were when I was in my teens, and we won't go back to how long that was, but or are there fewer books and different resources?
I'd say, depending how you frame the question, so there are fewer books in total, I would say, but we're hanging on to fewer of the older books. We're less of an archive, if you put it that way. So the books you do find are newer, they're fresh, they're what people are looking for. Just with the way that information is just so readily available outside of the library now, we try to remain completely relevant with our collections. And the collections are still hugely important for the library. We don't want to kind of say that it's all these new innovative ideas in place of collections, but we do look at our collections differently. So it's new titles, it's fresh titles, and circulation is still a healthy part of the library.
If I needed to get a hold of one of those books from when I went to the library years ago, could you still get it for me?
There'd be ways to do that, for sure. So, again, the connectedness of libraries all over the place, there's a way for us to find that. And there's other means to find that story or that information as well. So it's not always just printed text. Sometimes we'll have an e-book, or we'll have a way to find that information for you. So.
And I have to ask, because, you know, you went to the library at one time, and if you had to find a book, you had to go through a little card file to figure out what shelf it was on and file all kinds of numbers and decimal points still, or is there a new way for me to do that that's a little easier?
It's easier, but it's still, there are remnants of the old ways. So you'll still find your decimal places. You still have good old Melville Dewey's system from back in the day. If you look in the nonfiction collections, you've got the numbers and the decimal points. But now everything is, of course, on computers. So you can search our catalog just by typing in keywords or authors, and you can even do that through our website from home. You can place holds from home. So just the access is just much broader to the collection.
So it's modern, but there's still some throwback to the old days.
Oh, of course, there has to be, because we're not saying the old ways were all wrong. We're just updating things.